Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar from Bot Supply. Today, we're gonna look into why internal communication matters more than ever. I'm gonna share a quick agenda for today. I will try to be as brief as possible. I know you are all busy, and I would really like to spend more time on the point number 4, questions, than anything else. I'll start with the introduction about who I am and who we are as a company. We're going to analyze how work has been changing over the last 12, 18 months with people working from home and the challenges associated with working from home, and then we're going to look into how chatbots can help you alleviate some of the issues, some of the challenges that this transition is bringing with it. And then once again, a final Q&A session. I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Francesco Stasi. I'm the CEO of Bot Supply. And yeah, as you can see, I've been living in quite a few countries over the last few years. So I'm really curious about everything, food, traveling, new cultures, meeting people. And I'm also the host of the HRHQ podcast, that where I interview HR leaders from leading enterprises like Mars, Oracle, Ernst & Young, and we talk about the future of work and how technology is shaping the future of work, the way we work in the enterprise today. Who we are at Bot Supply. Bot Supply is a chatbot company, and but we really believe that chatbots are not just about simple automation of FAQs or simple or more complex processes. Chatbots and artificial intelligence actually give us the opportunity of work with what we call conversational data. So really analyze through artificial intelligence what is that people are telling us through a chatbot. People might be employees, might be customers, and what we've seen over time is that big enterprises have a lot of data, but most of the times they don't know what happens within this data. So we are also here to help uncover what your people have been telling you lately, so that you can get more insights and act on this data to provide better products, better services, whatever you're offering. Over time, at Bot Supplies, we've been working in this space since 2016. We've been working with leading enterprises around and across different industries, from banking, insurance, broadband, unions, mechanical engineering. So we really have not just from an HR perspective, but also from an IT help desk, a customer service, lead generation perspective, a lot of experience in the field. What we're gonna talk about today is how the way we work has been changing over the last 2 months. Of course, COVID happened. Unfortunately, it seems like, at least in many places in Europe, we're towards a direction where people can slowly go back to the office and life goes back to normality. But in the graph that we're looking at right here, we can actually see how companies have been adapting to this new normal, if so we can call it. And we can see that, especially in some industries like professional services, IT, and finance, the amount of people that went from being working from home before COVID and after COVID has increased dramatically. In some other industries like healthcare, hospitality, of course, the numbers cannot be as high. And here the questions that arise from these numbers are twofold. So first of all, what's going to happen after COVID? Will we still see these same numbers, or will they decrease? Will they increase even more? Many companies are looking into a hybrid mode where, employees, people will be spending maybe 2 or 3 days at the office and 2 or 3 days from, working from anywhere, not necessarily from home. The second question, though, that arises is how are HR teams responding to this change, and together with that, what are the challenges that rose as a result of working from home? We've been working with a lot of HR leaders, HR teams over the last 12 months, and we could analyze around 8 major challenges arising from working from home. These challenges span from employee engagement to poor accessibility of data and resources internally, training and development, attracting and retraining talent, hiring. We will not have the time to actually go through all these challenges, but we're going to focus on three main ones. The first one is employee engagement. The second is remote workforce communication, and the third one is providing employee self-service. Looking at employee engagement, what we see in the graph here is that employees tend to be actually pretty disengaged with the companies they work for. The reason for this might be unlimited. They spend from people not believing in the mission and vision of the company, not sharing the same values, and not feeling part of a team. But most of the times, what we see is that not being engaged is a result of not having the right communication tools in place. So whenever an employee needs a basic information, then it always takes 2, 3, 4, 5 days to get that information back. Communication not just towards the HR team, but across departments internally. Why does this matter? Why are we talking about this today? Simply because companies with highly engaged employees actually are 21% more profitable than companies with low engagement rates. And what does that mean at the end of the day? That more engaged employees will also take better care of your customers. And therefore, companies with highly engaged employees also have a 10% higher customer loyalty. So working through technology on having better employee engagement is crucial for companies to be more successful. Connected to employee engagement, of course, is remote workforce communication. Probably 12, 18 months ago, it was fairly easy, fairly fast for anyone in the company to stand up from the desk, walk and go and meet the HR team, maybe just a few offices far from their own, right? This is, of course, changing today. Nobody's at the office, so how do employees get in touch with the HR team, and how does the HR team get in touch with their own employees? So we see that remote workforce communication is actually a very, very important topic to be addressed, because as we can see from the numbers up, basically 35% of the respondents mentioned that important information gets buried by too much other information in the internal systems, right? So remote workforce communication is strictly connected to employee engagement, and in the next few slides we will actually look into how chatbots can help us improve and solve this challenge. Third, last but definitely not least, is employee self-service. Once again, with companies moving into a remote working environment, providing employees with a self-service would definitely give them the ability of finding the information they need in no time, instead of having to send an email, make a phone call, which is, at the end of the day, which has a lot of boundaries because the time where you can get in touch with your HR managers is definitely defined by the 9 to 5 working week time. Self-service solutions that at the end of the day we can see from the numbers are not offered by more than 53% of companies. So self-service solutions are a great way to improve efficiency, productivity, and employee engagement as well. So looking at how the future of work is changing, and looking at how these hybrid systems will be in place after COVID, where people are going to be a bit at the office, a bit working from home, and looking at some of the challenges that we have just analyzed, we really believe that technology can play a huge role in increased efficiency, productivity, and when it comes to the HR team, we know how busy the HR team usually is, and how busy it has been throughout COVID, right? So even the amount of time that technology can save in these circumstances is a huge benefit for companies to really look into technology, and how it can help going forward. As I mentioned in the beginning, our focus is on chatbots, and so today I want to highlight 4 reasons why chatbots can really improve the way your HR department is run on a daily basis. The first one is about the first benefit to deploy chatbots and to improve internal communication through chatbots is the idea of being more proactive. Employee well-being, employee mental health have been a huge topics throughout the last months, without of course forgetting inclusion, diversity, and gender equality. And we believe that chatbots can really be the tool that allow you to proactively engage with your people, and continuously feel the pulse of what's going on within your organization. Here we can see in the screenshot just a very basic example of a chatbot getting in touch proactively. That could be on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, whenever you want, and really trying to understand how people are doing. In return, this means more engagement with the whole organization. So back to the employee engagement problem, giving the idea and really walking the talk in creating an organization where vision, missions, the importance of people's mental health and well-being is at the core of everything that the HR team does. Here in the screenshot, we actually see a simple example, but a chatbot could take care, and we were going to see it in a later slides, can really take care of a lot of more and diverse use cases. It can be about payroll, it can be about absences, it can be about hiring, onboarding, and when you have and also simple FAQs. So when you have a chatbot that can actually take care of at least the most basic, simple, and repetitive questions, one of the major benefits that HR teams see by deploying this technology is actually time savings. Time savings because usually chatbots can take care of in between 30 to 70% of the most repetitive questions, and which means that you actually gain a lot of time back that you can invest in what is your most important resource, namely your people. So time saving, is of course also connected to cost savings, but we really believe that cost savings is somehow secondary. The most important thing here is to really save time that you can reinvest to provide better support, better services to your people. Once again, the importance of conversational data. Okay, chatbots are not just a static application that just live on their own environment. Conversational data really give us the opportunity of understanding how people are doing, what kind of questions they're asking, what are the problems that they face on a daily basis. And so, if you go back to these simple example, we can really probably, hopefully, you understand that by asking your people how they're doing, you also have an additional touch point that you can utilize to say, okay, this person is doing super good. Probably he or she doesn't need any it doesn't need a phone call or an email from the HR team to make sure that everything is fine. But what if people actually click on very stressed? Okay, so you can be notified by the chatbot whenever people are very stressed, and you can use that piece of data, that conversational data, to be more proactive. Once again, be more proactive and engage more with your people whenever they need you, the most. I wanted to share, more than show, an example of one of our customers. RB is an IT financial company in Iceland, and they deployed chatbots back in 2018, and within a couple of months, they were actually able to automate 65 of the most repetitive questions that they would receive on a daily basis. Of course, cost savings, name it, but the most important thing for them was the time savings, time that they could now reinvest into supporting and providing better services to the whole organization. Now that we're talking about use cases, numbers, requests automated, of course, if you have 300 HR requests on a monthly basis, maybe a chatbot is not it's not the technology that is gonna change and revolutionize your internal operations upside down. But for big enterprises that receive 5, 10, 20, 50,000 interactions a month, do some calculations and try to think about just automating 30% of them. What is the ROI that such a technology can bring to your team? Now, chatbots are great. Of course, they help you be more proactive, engage more with your people, save time that you can spend with within your organization. You can learn a lot from conversational data, but how difficult it actually is to get started. And what I wanna talk about right now in just a couple of minutes before we go into the FAQ phase is that actually getting started with chatbots can be pretty simple. And we have developed what we call the Validate Accelerator, which is basically a 3 months project where we spend the first month analyzing the use cases that you think could be creating the most ROI within your organization. We're going to work together with you to learn about your policies, FAQs, and build them inside the chatbot before sending the chatbot live for 2 months, where we can actually collect data, create a business case, create initial ROI, and then from there on, you will hopefully see that chatbots are here to really revolutionize the way you manage your HR operations. The reason why we have been coming up with this 3 months crash project, if so we can call it, is because a lot of organizations, they might have heard about chatbots, but they've never used a chatbot before. So they don't know how difficult it is. Is it really going to work for them? And since we are confident based on our results, based on the customers that we have, the chatbots can really revolutionize the way you run your HR department. We looked at creating this 3 months project where we can really help you get started in no time and see ROI from the get-go. The reason why we can be so quick in deploying a chatbot to help with any kind of internal communication challenges is because we also have some pre-built use cases based on the numerous HR projects that we've been running over the last 18-24 months. And these pre-built use cases range from pay slips, penning workers, we have a return to work chatbot solution, absences, recruiting candidates, and many more. Back to this 3 months validate accelerator, you could either look at choosing one of the pre-built use cases that we have, or of course we could also work on creating something from scratch that is very specific to your organization. Before we wrap it up and we move towards the FAQ phase, just summing up why chatbots are relevant today to improve any kind of internal communication system that you have. First of all, chatbots are available 24/7, right? It's not like us human being at the office 9 to 5. Chatbots are available any day, any moment, on any channel, and this gives your employees as well as your customers as well the ability to get all the information they need whenever they need them. Once again, the importance of conversational data, behavioral data that can give you an understanding, that can really give you an understanding of how your people are doing, what are the problems that they face on a daily basis, and what you can do to solve those issues and create a better working environment, whether that is at the office or remote. It doesn't really matter. Okay, now we're gonna move into the FAQ session. Let me see, I have received the 4 or 5 questions already in private chat. Let me see. So the first question that I see is how resources intensive is a chatbot project for our team? So the beauty, once again, of launching and working with chatbots is that it's a very dynamic technology. So it doesn't really take that much time to get something up and running, and that's why in the validate process we actually look at 1 month to have a first version live, ready to go live with your employees. So when we work with our customers, we basically need the major resource that we need, and that you would have to allocate is a domain expert. So for example, an HR manager that sits on a daily basis and answering FAQs or questions about pay slips, payroll, benefits, and so on. So that is the main resource that we need in order to get a project up and running. Let me know, please, in DM if I answered your question. Moving to the second one, what if I have multiple HR systems in place? So very good question, something that I haven't covered in the presentation yet. So chatbots, they can live their own life, so to speak, and be extremely good in answering simple FAQs. But where they actually create the most value is when they integrate with backend systems. Okay, some of the biggest backend systems for HR are Oracle HCM, SAP, Workday, ADP, and we have out of the box integrations for all these solutions. So let's say you're an Oracle HCM customer, then our HR chatbot template that I presented just a few slides ago would natively integrate with Oracle HCM. And if you have multiple systems in use at the same time, that is also not an issue at all. The importance of connecting a chatbot with a backend system is that it wouldn't just answer basic FAQ questions, but it could now automate backend processes. So if I'm asking about, I don't know, can I see my payslips for, I don't know, March 2019, then the chatbot would understand who I am and would go into the backend system that you have in use and would go and find my specific payslips that I'm looking for and send it back to me in the chat. So the more a chatbot is integrated with the backend systems, the more processes can be automated and the more time you can save, and the better services, the better support you can give to your people. Question number 3, to what channels can I deploy chatbot? So that is once again the beauty of chatbots, in the sense that you can actually deploy chatbots on any channel, be that an internal intranet system, be that WhatsApp, be that Facebook Messenger, be that Slack, Microsoft Teams. You can basically deploy a chatbot wherever your employees are. Question number 4. What are the average results we can get from a chatbot? As mentioned before, I shared the example of RB, and they could automate 65% of the incoming HR requests within a couple of months. Of course, numbers change according to the use case, according to the company, according to many different factors, but we can see on average between 40 to 70% of the most repetitive questions be fully automated. So the more HR interactions and conversations you have on a monthly basis, the more a chatbot can actually help you save in time, resources in a relatively short amount of time. You mentioned this validate project, 3 months project. Can I opt out after the first 3 months? Good question. So we tend to be always extremely flexible. So we have these 3 months validate accelerator with the aim of building something fast, send it live, collect data, build a business case, drive initial ROI, and then ideally you would continue developing the chatbot further when you see results so quickly, right? But what if for some reason the chatbot doesn't bring the ROI that we would expect? Then of course after the 3 months you can actually opt out from it. Okay, let me see if there is any other question in DM. No, this is it. So as promised, this was a short webinar. I know that you're all busy, so I wanted to keep it short and crisp as much as possible. These are my contact information. So if you have any other question, any follow-up information that you would like to ask me, please get in touch anytime. Thank you. I wish you a very good day. Bye.